Good morning. It's the most beautiful, glorious day. What incredible weather for the beginning of October. Actually quite weird. I mean, yesterday was so hot. It was hotter than summer. It was unbelievable. Anyway, that came after a week of storms, wind. I haven't been up here for quite a few days. Since we had these storms, I've got kale blown over, my chair was blown, the runner beans have gone skew with. Anyway, never mind, it's not too bad. I've just spotted this cabbage has been snapped off as well. I think it was the chair that knocked that off. Anyway, guess I know what's for tea now. So I spent the last week before these windy storms struck just doing a bit of tidying up at the allotment. This trough behind me where we had the squash, which was trailing all up the fence, I pulled all that out and put that on the compost heap. There's also, the weeds are still growing, which isn't surprising considering it's been wet and warm. Well, wet followed by warm, not at the same time. Yeah, so the weeds are still growing, so I've been hoeing in between my leeks to keep the weeds at bay there. And I've also been taking a lot of the bulk off my comfrey and spreading it between the two compost heaps. Comfrey's excellent for your plants, for their nutrition, if you didn't know that already. Great to go on the compost. So yeah, I've been keeping busy. So I've got netting on me onions now because the birds were pulling them out. There are still a few pulled out. I'm not exactly sure. I guess they're getting their beak in this net. Anyway, it's okay. It's fine. I also planted some, I had a celery plant, self-blanching celery plant that didn't really come to an awful lot. So I dug it up and it was several, I obviously had put a lot of seed in together and it was several different plants. So I've split the plants up and just planted them in this row here. They're a biennial, so I don't exactly know what's going to happen come spring if they survive. They might just shoot straight away to seed and I'll get nothing from them. But I thought it was worth a try because they're not worth harvesting as they are. So I'm hoping next year I might get 4 celery plants there and then I'll be able to use them before they go off to seed. The strawberries that went in last week are doing fine. Seem happy enough. Kenny came up through the week and repaired this raised bed. This whole end piece was coming away. We've got quite a lot of repairs like that need doing around the allotment over the winter, but that was a job well done anyway, so I was pleased about that. And he also managed to get a whole pile of kindling chopped for the wood burning stove, which is always nice to have in the shed waiting there. We've had the wood burner on already. Lovely cozy. I absolutely love my wood burner. I would never be without one now. However, it's gone back to summer temperatures this week, so it won't be going on at all. I'm just taking a look at these 2 courgette plants here. The courgettes that I put into this bed, if anybody has been watching for a while, they'll know they were the most poorly, desperate little seedlings that I put in. Looked like they weren't going to come to anything. Anyway, I had, I think, about 6 courgette plants in this one bed. Done fantastically. Obviously, I've had more courgettes than I could ever want. And these last 2 plants that I've left in here have just kept fruiting, much more slowly now, granted, but yeah, they've kept going all this time. However, I am going to take them out today. There's a couple of little fruits left on this one, but they're going rotten on the end. That one's all right. I'll take that one home. But the foliage, like on this one, is starting to die back, and I don't think there's anything left on this one to come now, so they can go on the compost heap. One last tiny little courgette. The other one is rotten, and then there's, oh, that one's been half eaten. Anyway, out it comes. Oh, look. Didn't see that. One last, what do they call it, swan song? And then out you come. You've done me well. So mainly all this border's got left in it now is 2 volunteer New Zealand yams, which I'm just leaving obviously. They'll be harvested probably in about December. And then if we look down here, I don't know whether you can see, that is the chard and perpetual spinach seedlings. I'll just point them out if I can get round. I put them in a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. This and these along here, they've come up, and this warm weather's gonna, and the wet weather's gonna really help these get a little bit established before the winter. And then across here, I'm not sure if you can see, not quite so much success with the spring onions that I sowed, but there is a few that have come up. I think it's probably going to be a bit late for sowing anymore now, but I'm hoping to get an early spring crop of chard and perpetual spinach with those. I just thought I'd show you the progress in this board. I'm really pleased with it. I've got leeks and sprouts mainly in here. They're just coming on fantastically. Shortly I'll be able to harvest some small leeks. I think they were multi-sown leeks. They're in clumps of mostly 2, maybe occasionally 3. And I'll just take out the biggest ones as I want to harvest them and let the smaller ones grow on. The sprouts are doing well as well. I haven't grown sprouts before. I had an unsuccessful attempt last year, but these look as if they're doing all right, and I've got my fingers crossed for sprouts for Christmas Day. This kale got blown right over in the wind. As I say, I'm going to stake it up because I don't want it hanging over like that all winter. I'm hoping these will sit here all winter, mainly to feed the hens, if nothing else. So I get it staked up, otherwise it's going to annoy me. And one of my big Courgettes has blown right over as well, so we'll get that tied up too. I think the runner beans are nearly done now, just as well, because they've been blown quite far over. I'm not quite sure what's happening here, but oh aye, my frame is coming to pieces. So it's time it came down. We harvest these runner beans not for to eat the whole pod, but just to eat the beans inside. That's what we prefer. Not keen on runner beans as a podded bean. I think they're a bit tough and hairy even when they're young, but as a bean they're delicious. So I've got a big pile of them drying on the windowsill, on the sideboard rather, at the minute, and we're nearly at the end of these now. Just want to show you this. I grew these hollyhocks from seed at the beginning of the year. I didn't realise that they were perennial, short-lived perennials. I thought they were annuals, so they have taken a very long time to come up and eventually one flower. I'm going to get another one there as well. That's what I've had this year out of them, one flower, but isn't it lovely? And hopefully next year I'm going to have a profusion of hollyhocks in the back garden and here at the allotment. Well, it's been quite a rambling little video this week, hasn't it? A little bit of this and a little bit of that. Catch up on some of the different borders. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. Give me a thumbs up, comment if you've got anything to say, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.